Good morning, students. So today we start our lecture. So with a very important derivation as far as the board exam is concerned. So that is relationship between relationship between electric field and potential. Relationship between electric field and potential. So what is the relationship between these two quantities of the electrostatic? So that we will see today. So this is one of the very important 3-mark question it is. So what we are doing? So I am considering one charge, a source charge Q. In fact, this plus Q is placed at a position O. So this charge will generate a electric field around it. It will generate a electric field around it. In that electric field, I am choosing 2 points. I am choosing 2 points. They are A and B. I am choosing 2 points in that electric field, A and B. So these two charges, these 2 points in fact, these 2 points are separated by a very small distance dr. It is separated by a very small distance dr. They are so close that the 2 points are so close that what I am assuming is the electric field at both these points is same. In fact, so as the position of the points, as the position changes, electric field should change. But what I am assuming here, these 2 points are so close that the electric field at these 2 points is almost same. So this assumption I am doing to derive the relation. Otherwise we cannot go further. So this electric field is, since it is a positive charge, the direction of the electric field, is in this direction. Electric field direction is away from the positive charge. As I mentioned, the 2 points A and B, they are separated by a very small distance. The separation is so small that electric field, I am assuming the electric field between A and B is almost same. Okay. So whereas when I come to potential, so here I won't take the potential at both the points is same. Potential at this point if I take it as V, potential at B is, if I take it as V at this point, it is V plus delta V. At this point, it is V plus delta V. Potential at B is V, whereas potential at A is V plus delta V. As we move towards the charge, the potential increases. So therefore, if this is V, at B it is V, and at A it is V plus dV. So a test charge Q naught, a test charge Q naught, I want to move in this direction. I want to move in this direction. From V to V plus delta V, from B to A, I want to move a test charge. So because of that, I am applying some force here. An external force I am applying. So this external force, what I am applying, it should not accelerate this test charge. So already during the definition of electric potential we have seen. So what force you are applying here, that should not accelerate the test charge. Then how it will be? You are applying the force and there should not be any acceleration. So what happens here? This electric field, since this is a positive test charge, this electric field is pushing this charge, test charge, in this direction with some force. Because of force of repulsion, it is pushing it in this direction. Whereas your external force is in this direction. So you have to apply such a force. So what electric force, what force? This electrostatic force is applying because of repulsion. So that force must be equal to what force, external force you are applying. So that this test charge, without any acceleration, this charge will move with uniform velocity or uniform speed. It will move from this point to this point. So what is very important here? What is the electrostatic force of repulsion? That force must be equal to what external force you are applying on the charge. So then only, without any acceleration, this charge will move from B to A. This charge will move from B to A. So here, force due to the, I can say, the force due to the electric field and force due external force, they are equal. Okay. So then, what amount of work you are doing here? That we will see. What amount of work you are doing? So what is the potential difference here? V plus delta V minus, this is V, is equal to, so from the definition of potential difference, amount of work done per test charge. From the definition of potential difference, what we have seen, V plus delta V minus V is equal to W by Q naught. So what is this W? So I can write it as it is F, force into, so how far you are moving? You are moving for a distance of dr into cos theta. This is our amount of work done divided by Q naught. So here, what force I am taking here? Force due to the electric field, because this potential difference is generated because of this charge, and this force also I will take, since potential difference that has generated between A and B is because of this charge, and force also here I will take force due to the electric field. Force due to the electric field it is. In a sense, it is in the direction of the electric field. Force will be in the direction of the electric field. And how is our displacement? How is our displacement? Our displacement is in this direction, whereas the force due to the electric field is in this direction. So what I can write? F into dr. What is the angle between these two? It is making it to move in this way, whereas the force due to the electric field is in this direction. Therefore, it is cos 180 divided by Q naught. In the sense, this cos 180 value is, it is minus 1. Now you find the value of this F, because they are not mentioned F, only they have mentioned what is the electric field there. This F we have to write in terms of electric field. So already we know from the definition of electric field, E is equal to F by Q naught. From the definition of electric field intensity, we know E is equal to F by Q naught. So therefore, F is equal to Q naught into E. F is equal to Q naught into E. So that value of Q naught into E, I am substituting here. Into dr. So this is minus 1 whole divided by, it is, so this Q naught and this Q naught get cancels, and here it is V plus dV minus V. Here I can write it as, so even if I take this small as V plus dV, here also if I take it as V plus dV, so it is, if I take this as dV, dV is equal to V plus dV minus V is equal to, so this value I am getting it as dV. So now this dV is equal to minus E into dr. I want the expression for E here. E is equal to, it is dV by dt. So this is the relationship between electric field and electric potential difference. So what it says? So it is dV by dr. We say that as rate of change of potential. Rate of change of potential with respect to distance. So this we say as potential gradient. We say it as potential gradient. Change in the potential with respect to distance. We say it as potential gradient. So what electric field is? Electric field is negative of potential gradient. Rate of potential gradient is rate of change of potential with respect to distance, with respect to separation. So that we are saying it as potential gradient. And electric field is negative of potential gradient. Okay. Then what is the significance of this negative sign here? The significance of the negative sign is in the direction of, very important this also, in the direction of electric field, the potential, in the direction of the electric field, the potential goes on decreases. You can see here itself. So this is our electric field. In the direction of, here it is V plus dV, whereas here it is V. In the direction of the electric field, the potential goes on and decreases. One more example we can take here. What it is? If it is electric field is in this way, if this is our charge Q, the electric field is in this way. So these are the points I have taken. These are the points I have taken. So this distance is 1 meter separation between them. So this is also 1 meter, this separation is also 1 meter. So at this point, because of this charge, what is the electric potential? So it is 1 by 4 pi epsilon, that I write it as K. K into Q by R. What is R? This R is 1 meter. At this point, our potential, because of this charge, if this is point A, at A, because of this charge, it is KQ by 1. At point B, what is the potential here? So from charge, this B is at a distance of 1 meter plus 1 meter. It is at a distance of 2 meter. So 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught, I am writing it as K Q by 2. Because separation is 2. At point C, at this point, what is the potential at this point? So total distance is 1 meter, 1 meter, 1 meter. From Q, this point C is at a distance of 3 meter. So it is KQ by 3. What you are observing? Here potential is KQ. It is KQ by 2. So it is KQ by 3. In the direction of the electric field, the potential goes on, decreases. Potential goes on, decreases. So that's what the negative negative sign here in the direction of the electric field, potential goes on. Potential difference goes on, decreases. It is kq by 1, kq by 2, kq by 3. In the direction of the electric field, potential goes on decreasing. So that is the significance of this negative sign. And what relation we have derived? Electric field is negative of the potential gradient. Once, what is potential gradient? They had asked in board exam, what is potential gradient? It is rate of change of electric potential with respect to the distance. We say it as potential gradient. How? The potential is changing with respect to time. So with respect to distance, how the potential is changing. So that itself is potential gradient. And based on this relation, we can have the another SI unit for the electric field. Already, based on this expression, the SI unit of electric field, already we have discussed this in the previous chapter. What it is? Because of this force, it is Newton, and here it is because of a charge, it is Coulomb. So Newton per Coulomb it is. SI unit of electric field is Newton per Coulomb from the basic definition of the electric field. But what we got now, what relationship we have arrived here, based on this, we have one more unit for the electric field. What it is? E is equal to minus dV by dr. What is dV? So what is the unit of this dV? SI unit of potential difference is V, whereas R is separation. SI unit is meter. So the SI unit of electric field, SI unit of electric field so it is, we can say it as volt per meter. Another SI unit of electric field is volt per meter. Already we are using this Newton per Coulomb. Already we are using based on this expression. So one more unit of electric field we can have, that is volt per meter. Okay. So in this derivation, very important relationship we are arriving. So it is electric field, relationship between electric field and potential difference. So based on this, we have derived it. And what is the potential gradient? We have come to know. And this significance, this is also very important, significance of this negative sign is in the direction of the electric field, potential goes on decreasing. This negative sign shows in the direction of the electric field, potential goes on decreasing. And based on this expression, we came to know the other SI unit of electric field, that is volt per meter. So now we will move to other important concept here, that is equipotential. Equipotential surface. So as the name itself is saying, equi, it is same. The surface which has same potential. The surface which has same potential. So that surface we say it as equipotential surface. Any surface which has got same potential, it may be imaginary or it may be true surface, which has got same potential on each and every point of its surface. So that surface we say as equipotential surface. So with one example we can understand it very clearly what it is. Let us consider a charge Q. At a distance r from it, we have one point. Okay. So potential is V is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. It is Q by R. Okay. 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q by R. Charge is Q. And this distance R I have taken. So now this is one point A. I come to here exactly at the same distance. Exactly at the same distance in the sense at R. This is constant, Q is constant, even R is also, Q is same, even R is also, I am taking same. So what potential we have, same potential we have on the V also. This side, at a distance R from the charge, at this point C. So Q, this is Q itself, R is also same, 1 by 4 pi epsilon is also same. So at this point C also we have same potential. Potential at A, potential at B, potential at C, it is same. The same thing we are seeing here also. At D, this distance is also R. So like this, if you go this side, a point. If you go this side, a point which is at a distance R. So if you go in this way at a distance R, if you go at this distance at a distance R, even if you go in 2 dimension I have drawn here, even 3 dimensionally, if it is at a distance R from it, at anywhere at a distance R from it, even inside the board at a distance R from it. So everywhere the potential is same. If you join the locus of all these points, if you join the locus of all these points, so this surface If you join the locus of all these points, so this surface becomes like this. In fact, two-dimensional, it is a circle. If I take even the charges at this point, at a distance at this point, you will get a sphere. So this sphere is an equipotential surface. At every point on the sphere, if a charge is placed at the center of the sphere, at every point on the surface of the sphere, at every point on the surface of the sphere, the potential will be same if you are keeping this Q at the center of it. Okay, so this is our equipotential surface. At the surface of it, at every point on the surface, potential is same. At any point you see, at this point you see, you will have same potential. At this point you see, potential will be same. At this point the potential is same. At each and every point on the surface, the potential is same. So that is why this surface we say it as equipotential surface. Same potential at each and every point on this surface, the potential is same. Okay. So we'll see now what are the properties of equipotential surface. Properties of equipotential surface. So first property, no work is done to move a charge from one point to other point on equipotential surface. So no work is done to move a charge from one point to other point on the equipotential surface. How it is? So let us consider this is a part of the equipotential surface. So this is one point, point A, and this is the other point B. So we know potential difference, if it is VA minus VB is equal to amount of work done if our test charge is Q0. A Q0 if I am moving from this point to this point. So work done is equal to, I can write it as Q0 into VA minus VB. Okay, amount of work done is Q0 into VA minus VB. See, already I am mentioning this surface is an equipotential surface. In the sense, if the potential at A is V, the potential on B is also V. At A, if it is V, on B also it is V. So, if I substitute in this expression of our work done, what it is? Q naught. So, this is VA. VA at VA, the potential is V. At VB, the potential is V. So, amount of work done is 0. If there is a potential difference, then only we can do the work to move that charge. If there is no potential difference, potential at this point is the same as potential at this point, no need to do any work to move the charge from A to B. No work is done to move the charge from A to B. If it is an equipotential surface, no work is done to move the charge from A to B, anywhere in the equipotential surface. If you want to take a charge from one point to other point, since there is no potential difference, so no need to do any work there. So if there is a potential difference, then according to this formula, we have to do the work. But since there is no potential difference, no need to do work. That is our first property. That is, no work is done to move a charge from one point to other point on the equipotential surface. So now we'll move to the next property. So that is second property. What it says? Electric field is always perpendicular to the equipotential surface. Electric field is always perpendicular to the equipotential surface. In a sense, if equipotential surface is like this, electric field will act. Electric field, it is electric lines of forces represent the electric field. In a sense, electric line of force should be perpendicular to the equipotential surface. Always electric lines of forces, or in other way I can say it as electric field. This electric field should be perpendicular to the, if it is at this point, it should be perpendicular. At this point, if you see, it has to be perpendicular to this. Always electric field and equipotential surfaces are perpendicular to one another. So how to prove this? So let us consider, we take one contradiction thinking, then we will disprove it. So what it is, if this is equipotential surface, okay, So rather than taking electric field in this direction, so let us take the electric field making some angle with it. So let us consider, for time being, the electric field is not perpendicular to the equipotential surface, it is making some angle. So this is our perpendicular normal to this equipotential surface. It is making some angle theta with it. So this is our electric field. I have taken, for time being, electric field is not perpendicular. If this would have been making some angle there to the normal. So electric field is a vector quantity. I can resolve it. So how it is? This will be E cos theta and this is E sin theta. It is E cos theta and this is E sin theta. Since it is not normal, I have taken, for time being I have taken it as it is making some angle with the normal. So because of that, I can resolve into E cos theta and E sin theta. So what this E sin theta is doing? Concentrate here on the E sin theta. What this E sin theta? So this E sin theta, this electric field makes the charges which are present here. So it will push the charges. It will push the charges. So that it is doing the work on the charges. Pushing the charges means it is doing the work on the charges. So what the previous property we have seen, no need to do the work. No need to do the work on the equipotential surface. So what it is saying as this E sin theta is making the charges to move here by applying the force. It is making the charges to move here. This is never possible because no need to do work. When the potential is equipotential surface, no need to do work. Okay, no need to push anything. The charges, no need to push the charges. So then, this existence of this E sin theta is not at all there. If it is there, then our previous property will get disproved. Okay, then this existence of this E sin theta is not there. This component is not there. E sin theta component is not there. If E sin theta component itself is not there, so then what it should be? This E should be perpendicular. If it is perpendicular, then only this E sin theta component becomes 0. If it is making any angle in between, then there will be some E sin theta value. If it is even at this, it is making at this very small angle, then also there will be E sin theta. E sin theta, I want 0. So when it is possible only when the electric field is completely acting in this direction. If E is acting completely in this direction, then we cannot divide it. There will not be any E sin theta. Complete E will be in this direction. Okay, so complete E is in this direction means, so this E sin theta is not there. This E is also, the presence of this E also is not there. The presence of this E cos theta is also not there. So only we have E which is perpendicular to the equipotential surface. So what we have proved, this electric field is always perpendicular to the equipotential surface. In the sense, electric field, or in another way, in another word I can say, it is electric lines of forces. Electric lines of forces and equipotential surface, always they are perpendicular to one another. So with this, what is the direction with the equipotential surface? We can find out. We are finding the direction of the electric field using the electric line of force, even using the electric potential, this equipotential surface also. We can find the direction, in which direction the electric field is. Okay, so next we'll move to the next property. So what it is? Third property. So we have E is equal to minus dV by dr. Just now we have proved. So this dV on the equipotential surface, I am taking it as constant. This is constant. So what I can say, E is directly proportional to 1 by dr. Okay. So where separation is less, electric field is more. Where separation is less, electric field is more. Where separation is more, electric field is less. So this itself we are seeing here. If this is our charge, if the equipotential surfaces are close to one another, if they are equipotential surfaces are close to one another, if the separation is less, equipotential surfaces are close to one another, if the separation between the equipotential surfaces are less, if it is less, then electric field is more. If the separation between the equipotential surface, if it increases, the separation increases. See, the separation increases. If the separation increases at this area, electric field is less. Where there is dense equipotential surfaces, where the dense equipotential surface, where the separation between the equipotential surface is less, at that point the electric field is more. Where there is the separation, if the separation increases, If the separation increases, electric field decreases. So with this property, even we can come to know, depending on the equipotential surfaces that we have, we can arrive where the electric field is more, where the electric field is less. Based on this only, we can find out what is the electric field, where it is less, where it is more, we can find out. So this is our third property. The dense equipotential surface, where the dense equipotential surfaces are there, their electric field is more. Very rare equipotential surfaces, if you are finding, then in the sense separation is more, then the electric field is at those points, electric field is less. So this is the third property of the equipotential surface. Then moving to the fourth property. No two equipotential surfaces. No two equipotential surface intersect each other. No two equipotential surface intersect each other. So what it says? If this is our one equipotential surface, so let us imagine the two equipotential surfaces are intersecting each other like this. So here, this surface, it is an equipotential surface of, say, V is equal to 10 volt. This is an equipotential surface. Since it is a larger one, we take here this as 5 volt. This is an equipotential surface. Throughout this surface we have 5 volt. Throughout this surface we have this 10 volt. Of course, at this point it may be 10 volt, here it is 10 volt, here it is 10 volt. So like this, all this 10 volt. Then a question comes at this point. At all these points we can say it is a 10 volt. At all these points, even at these points, I can say it is a 5 volt. Question comes, how about at these 2 points? Whether this point has got 10 volt of potential or 5 volt of potential, because both are lying there. At one point, electric potential due to a single charge will never be different at 2 points, at 2 different values. It never be 2 different values at one point due to one charge. So existence of these intersection, the existence of these points is not at all there. If existence of these points is not there, means definitely it has to be like this. It has to be like this. If this is of 10 volts, then this will be of 5 volt. So at one point, existence of two different values of potential will never be there. So then the ultimate thing is, when this is not possible, this type of structure is not possible, means it has to be like this. In a sense, no two equipotential surface intersect. They never intersect like this. They will be independent. However close they are, they never intersect each other. So these are the properties of equipotential surface. So what the first one? No need to do any work to move a charge from one point to other point on the equipotential surface. What is the second property? Second property says as electric lines of forces, or in other way, electric field is always perpendicular to the equipotential surface. What the third property says? If the separation between the equipotential surface is less, at that point electric field will be more. If the separation between the equipotential surface is more, at such point the electric field is less. And what the fourth property says? No two equipotential surfaces intersect with one another. No two equipotential surfaces intersect with one another. So these are the properties of equipotential surface. Okay, in the next class. So one more very important thing we will discuss on the equipotential surface itself. We will draw the equipotential surface for a single point charge. For a dipole, we will draw the equipotential surface. If the field is uniform in nature, then how will be the equipotential surface? If two similar charges are there, minus and minus, or it may be plus or plus. If two similar charges are there, how will be the equipotential surface? We will draw these. Many times they have asked us to, in the board exam, they have asked us to draw the equipotential surfaces for single charge and for dipole and for uniform electric field, where the electric field is uniform. There they have asked us to draw the equipotential surface. Those things we will see in the next class. Thank you.